We now return to your regular programming.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind.
We need to urgently and dramatically escalate our response. The next few days are crucial. Without decisive action, the number of people infected will rapidly increase from a few hundred to tens of thousands, and within a few weeks to hundreds of thousands. To get things moving, government is providing seed capital of 150 million rand, and the private sector has already pledged to support the fund with financial contributions in the coming period.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
In this regard, we must applaud the commitment that has been made in this time of crisis by the Rupert and Oppenheimer families of 1 billion rand each to assist small businesses and their employees affected by the coronavirus pandemic.
So this is me commenting on we just had the president speak right now, and within his speech in addressing the nation and talking about the lockdown that's happening, he mentioned that we will be receiving 2 billion from two of the notoriously wealthy families in South Africa, the Oppenheimers and the Ruperts. They will be each giving 1 billion. Honestly, for me, amongst everything that's said and amongst what we need to do, of course, we need the aid and all of that, but it's a very alarming conversation, and it's thrown in such a hectic and sensitive time that then, because in such a situation we become vulnerable to being bought, we become vulnerable to ownership, and the Cyril Ramaphosa being in the position that he's in, obviously for those who have paid attention, came with the backing of the Oppenheimers and the Ruperts, and which is very saddening, because as a country that means we still under a stronghold like that and being dictated, hence why the consulting that's really been happening has been more financial consulting. And of course we can't just take steps and wild out and dramatically take certain steps, but we know what's been going on, and I was even speaking to certain individuals, and I was saying that we saw what happened with Italy. It's the same. We're facing the same challenge. It's not like we didn't know that if we didn't act soon enough, we're going to get locked down, but we had to consider certain individuals that had their monies invested in the country. And not to say that considering money is not a thing and the economy is not a conversation, but without people, there's no economy. It's really that simple. But like I said, and coming off Lesego's tweet, and hopefully his handle will be placed on there, coming off Lesego's tweet, which was that, it's really a little bit concerning that we're getting money from these two families, because such money means that there's some reward that is coming out after all of this. Surely enough, it's not for our health. Surely enough, it's not for the development of the people of South Africa, because if that was the case, that would have happened a long time ago, and so that's kind of my word on it, and I feel like it is going to come with repercussions. In fact, it's actually just even an evidence of who owns the country, because if I own a company in this time, I'm definitely trying to put money in where I know will help the cause and the situation and solve the problem. So they need to put in the billion. They need to put in money, and they're probably putting in more that's not even being spoken on, because just after that, somebody asked why did their names have to be mentioned, and I said that you pay for your name to be mentioned in certain programs and certain TVs, just like marketing. They paid for their name to be mentioned in that speech, in the president's speech. So very interesting. It's a very interesting time, and nonetheless, nonetheless, we're trusting that we can just all follow through, and let's stay safe, and we'll see what happens after it all.
I want to make it clear that we expect all South Africans to act in the interests of the South African nation and not in their own selfish interest. And our unity as a nation is going to be put to a test as never before. I call on all of us, one and all, to play our part and our role as South Africans. To be courageous, patient, and above all, to show solidarity and compassion to one another. Let us never despair despite the challenges that our country is facing.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get